Tonight, SGA senators return to work.
Plus, a guest speaker gives tips to Greek organizations. Stay tuned, Troy. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
With news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for August the 22nd, 2012. I'm Brittany Harris.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Tuesday night, Troy University Student Government Association assembled for the first meeting of the fall semester. Judson Garner has more.
Will Thompson is now beginning his first semester serving the students of Troy University as their newly appointed SGA president, and he says he's been preparing, but admits the position does have a slight learning curve.
I knew that there were going to be a lot of responsibilities, but not quite this much, I guess. But I'm getting used to it really well and getting acclimated to the job as a whole, so I'm really doing well so far.
There were many familiar faces at the meeting, but these past SGA alum have returned to take on unfamiliar roles. So the Student Government Association took some time to put together an agenda for the semester.
Tonight was about making the appointments necessary and making the amendments necessary to get this year started off. Now we can hit the ground running with business, dealing with issues, not so much logistical problems.
Thompson wants to expand the SGA's influence off campus and more efficiently connect with who he's working for, the students.
I want us to see an increased student advocacy in the state legislature in Montgomery. We've talked about that a number of different times. I also want to see an increased bond of communication between our student body and our Student Government Association.
The SGA senators are to voice student concerns and opinions to university administration, and many students are not sure what the SGA can provide for them, so this year's senators hope to fix that.
As SGA as a whole, we're just going to learn how to work together a little bit better and really focus on getting our word out to the students. I feel like a lot of students know about SGA but don't know what we do, so my real goal is to just publicize the events better and make sure students know what we are, what we do, and how we're going to do it and achieve it.
Judson Garner, Troy TrojanVision News.
Many of the SGA senators and officers are new to their positions, and this week they focus mainly on creating an agenda for the fall semester. We'll have more on the Student Government Association next week.
Greek organizations may sometimes get unfairly characterized as groups who only party and act wild, and in some cases that description may apply. But last night, a visiting speaker wanted to give some of Troy University's fraternities and sororities some advice to help avoid the stereotype. Deatra Montgomery has that story.
Tuesday night, students gathered in the Trojan Center Theater to hear guest speaker James Cray teach on matters of staying true to one's roots. The motivation behind the speech was his own experience as a Greek and as a current advisor. Cray emphasized to the crowd that being an educated student is more important than being a fraternity or sorority member.
It's more to wearing your letters than just partying, pledging, and dropping out of college. The basis is education, and one thing that makes our organizations look good is that we graduate students that come into the organizations.
Cray shared 3 points with the students, such as making your own history and that everyone should stay true to themselves. He talks about how each person, whether Greek or not, that your title should not determine who you are, yet you should represent the title in your own way.
Not letting the title dictate them and them dictating the title. And just reminding them that a person's opinion doesn't really dictate who you are. A lot of times we have to be careful in the way that we try to rebuke the things that are stereotyped by our Greeks. So I would just kind of speak to them in a way of encouragement.
According to Cray, being true to who you are is more than the letters you wear or what organization you're a part of. The students who attended the event had a chance to learn about ideas and matters that they can carry with them while they're in college and in future endeavors.
I really want students to understand that now is the time that you build a legacy for yourself. And just depending on the way that you carry yourself, the way that you interact with other students, as far as the Greeks are concerned, is the legacy that you will build. And though we have those beginning foundations, there will be other foundations that can be laid.
Deatra Montgomery, Troy TrojanVision News.
The next NPHC event will be a convocation tonight at 7 p.m. in the Trojan Ballrooms located upstairs in the Trojan Center. Since school started back, we have been talking a lot about the road closure on McKinley Drive due to construction.
That's right, Brittany, but what exactly is this big project causing road closures for 2.5 months? Rachel Scarborough gives us the details.
East of the new Trojan Arena, land is being prepared for expansions to the football practice field, but other sporting activities can also use the new fields as well.
As we look at the expansion and building this area, the focus is to create intramural fields for the intramural program. And at the same time, the project, even as it focuses on providing these intramural facilities, will also be a project that also gives the football team more space and grass to practice on and more room.
Football will not be the only sport played at these fields.
Develop them in a way that they can be used for soccer, you can use them for softball. There's any number of uses that the students and the intramural program can take and utilize these facilities to meet the needs of their program and of the students.
And the new fields will have one added benefit that the current intramural fields don't have: lights.
So they can plan and schedule these activities for intramurals to occur after regular class hours so that the students can come out and enjoy them, all hours of the night.
How does it help students on campus?
What this new field will do is it will more than double the available area that our students can participate in.
Rachel Scarborough, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The new fields are expected to be completed in the new year.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Montgomery, 4 members of the Blood Street Gang have been sentenced to federal prison terms for involvement in a series of violent crimes in the Montgomery area. Authorities say the crimes included carjacking, robbery, and firearm violations, and the longest is an 87-year sentence given to the leader of the gang.
And in Birmingham, an Alabama appeals court is refusing to block an order requiring a man to remove the body of his late wife from a grave in his front yard. The Alabama Court of Civil Appeals denied the request by homeowner James Davis of Stevenson. He buried his wife outside their home in 2009, and the city is trying to make him remove the grave.
Also in Montgomery, Governor Robert Bentley says he's pleased with how much of Alabama's immigration law got left intact by a federal appeals court. The governor says he's also uncertain whether the state will appeal the ruling of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, the soccer team took to the field again today at the Trojan Soccer Complex. Find out how they did when Danielle Percival joins us with sports.
But first, a new poll shows the presidential race is neck and neck, and the candidates are focused on those fall battleground states. We'll have that story and more after the break.
California sent thousands evacuating, but at this shelter, more people are sleeping outside than inside. I'm Bigatchaban in Redding, California. We'll explain coming up.
Today is Saturday. 60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Check out this chef, right?
So gay. Please don't say that. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Doctor and nurse.
I want to work in the NFL.
Troy University's College of Health and Human Services prepares students for high-demand careers of today and tomorrow. Careers offering attractive pay and the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
My courses aren't just classwork. I've worked with the Department of Human Resources to put my skills to work with helping people. I couldn't think of anything else I'd rather be doing.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
For a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Brittany Harris at the Global News Desk. Brittany.
A new poll shows the presidential race is neck and neck, and the candidates are focused on those fall battleground states. President Obama started his day in Nevada. Mitt Romney took his campaign to Iowa. Dale Nottingham has more from Washington.
Mitt Romney took his campaign to a factory in Iowa Wednesday. The GOP White House hopeful is hammering President Obama on the economy.
We've now had 4 years in a row with a president that's built trillion-dollar deficits. It's bad economics, It's the wrong course for America, and I believe it's immoral for us to pass on our burdens on to the next generation.
In the battleground state of Virginia, Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan told supporters President Obama's health care reform will devastate Medicare.
You think sending 1 out of 6 hospitals and nursing homes into bankruptcy or just dropping Medicare patients to pay for Obamacare is an achievement? Neither do we.
A new poll from the Associated Press shows the race for the White House is tight as it's ever been. Both candidates are in a statistical dead heat.
What happens at schools like this will shape the future of the vast majority of our kids.
The president is trying to use education to draw a clear contrast with the Republican ticket. He's talking about making and keeping college affordable with teachers and students in Nevada. Young voters helped him win the White House 4 years ago.
The plan Governor Romney has put forward would cut America's investment in education by nearly 20%.
The president says the Romney-Ryan budget would cut money from many government programs, including loans and grants to college students. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Washington.
Heart disease patients are usually told to modify their diet, but it can be hard to change lifelong habits. Now, one New York area hospital is taking patients from the doctor's office to the kitchen to give them skills that could help save their lives. Randall Pigskin reports.
The whole thing?
Vera Robleski is trying to get heart healthy.
I had a heart attack many, many years ago, but my husband had 5 stents put in between November and January. And that's why we're here.
Robleski is taking a cooking class at Northern Westchester Hospital where professional chefs teach cardiac patients how to reduce the risk of heart disease.
Eliminate the sodium, eliminate the processed foods, eliminate the sugar, and really try to get them on a high-fiber, plant-based diet.
Learning how to cook healthy is just part of the curriculum. After they finish in the kitchen, the heart patients sit down for their meal, where they learn more important lessons.
Remember last week we talked about protein as staying power.
Patients are urged to change the way they eat. For example, to relax before dining.
Why is that important?
For digestive enzymes and for digestion. We really try to bring people to the table. It's a whole grain kernel.
There are also lessons explaining how food works in the body, as well as stocking the pantry and grocery shopping. Robleski says the classes have changed her life.
We read labels like crazy now.
What are you looking for on the label?
Fiber content and fat content.
And the hospital is keeping tabs, checking patients every 3 months to measure how much they've improved. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, Chappaqua, New York.
And that wraps things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, like a major change at an international airport, you can tune into TrojanVision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thanks, Brittany. And now Danielle Percival joins us for a look at sports. So Danielle, Trojan Sports had a home game today.
Well, that's right, Bailey. There was a little bit of soccer action on campus today, so let's get into the wrap-up.
Sounds good.
After a hot start to the season, the Trojans are facing some tougher competition today. Troy is 2-0 to start the year for the first time since 2009 after matches against Alcorn State and Alabama State, but today they were facing an SEC foe. The Trojans and the Ole Miss Rebels were on the pitch this afternoon at the Trojan Soccer Complex, as Bailey mentioned. Troy has never faced Ole Miss, but did play Mississippi State at home last year in a game that ended in a 1-1 tie. At the half, the Trojans were down 3-0, but coming from behind has been nothing new for Troy this year. However, after scoring 5 points in both matches of the season, well, the Trojans had 5 scored against them and fell to Ole Miss 5-0, making it their first loss of the season. Up next for the Trojans, they'll be hitting the road again, this time to South Carolina. They will play at Wofford on Friday afternoon, with first kick scheduled for 5 o'clock. And with the soccer team getting off to a pretty hot start, the volleyball team would love to follow suit. They begin their season on Friday at a tournament in Athens, Georgia. Troy will be taking part in the Benson Hospitality Bulldog Invitational. The Trojans will be welcoming 10 newcomers on this year's team and bringing back 4 seniors, including 3-year starter Devin Von Pingel. Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick says the entire team is getting better and will be ready to begin the season.
We're a process-oriented team, so we're working on getting better in the process. The results are coming, so that's good to see. We've had to change and retool a couple things, but the new girls are really picking up how we do things.
The team will begin their season Friday at noon in Athens, Georgia, taking on Georgia State. One of the areas of the Trojan football team that looked to have the most improvements to make over the offseason was the defense. Specifically on the defense, the secondary needed to make some changes, and that started at the top with a new cornerbacks coach. Julius Brown, who spent the last 5 seasons with the Boise State Broncos, is entering his first season as the cornerbacks coach at Troy, and he says he's giving his guys a lot to work on.
I put a lot on them in terms of learning the position. They'll tell you we do a lot of tests, and those guys are really answering the bell in terms of, knowing formation and knowing calls and knowing our defense and being a master of the defense. They're working hard. They're doing everything that I'm asking them to do and that our staff is asking them to do.
While Brown is new to his group, he also has some new players that have been added at the corner position through recruiting, including TJ Bryant, a transfer from USC.
I'm really happy with TJ. He's doing everything I ask him to do. He's fitting into the group well. He's competing.
So far, it's been good. Everything's been good. Everybody on the team has embraced me very, comfortably. As far as football goes, everything, just getting back into the swing of things, everything seems to be going good. Just listening to and doing everything that the coaches ask of me.
Coming from USC, Bryant will remain a Trojan, and he says the similarities don't stop with just the mascot.
They're both two good programs, and, it's still college football. As far as USC and Troy, the similarities are, we kind of do the same things.
Since Bryant is somewhat familiar with the style of play, he says he could have an immediate impact.
I feel like I'll be a contributor, with the leaders, and I just feel like, everything's just going to go smooth, and, it's really not too much to it.
And as a reminder, if you haven't checked out the Trojan Sports Now football preview show, it's not too late. The show will be airing tonight at 7, 8:30, 9, and 11 right here on Troy Trojan Vision. Well, Bailey, Brittany, however, if you're not going to be able to be at the TV and you still want to catch the preview show, there is still the other option of being able to tune in online. You can go to the Troy University YouTube page. That's youtube.com/TroyUNI, and it's one of those first videos up there, the 2012 Trojan Sports Now football preview show. Get you ready for football season.
All right, we'll be sure to tune in tonight or catch it on YouTube later.
All right, sounds
Thank
great.
you, Danielle. Coming up on Troy TrojanVision Nightly News, we'll learn about the upcoming season from Troy Trojan football.
But first, temperatures seem to be cooling down today. Will these lighter temperatures continue, or will things heat up again? Bree?
We have experienced some cooler temperatures this week, but those temperatures may not be here to stay. I'll have more coming up next in weather.
Welcome home, man.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now Bree Sanders joins us for a look at weather.
Well, Bree, as today you saw it was pretty cool outside. Can we see that weather anymore, though, this week?
Well, it was very cool today, but it looks like those fall temperatures aren't here to stay just yet, but I'll get more into that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. On campus right now, we see that it's still a very beautiful day outside. The sun is still shining, so if you're headed to class or headed home from work, you can definitely enjoy the view right now. Looking at our current conditions right now, we have partly cloudy skies. Temperatures at 86 degrees, dew points at 63 degrees. Humidity is at 46%, barometers at 30.04 inches and steady. Winds are coming in from the north-northeast at 5 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high today of 88, a low of 66. There was no rain today. The sun rises at 6:15 a.m. and it should set at 7:19 p.m. Looking at our temperatures around the state, overall the state is experiencing some upper 80-degree temperatures. Mobile coming in with a high at 89, Huntsville at 86, Birmingham at 87, Montgomery at 88, Troy at 86, as well as Dothan at 86, and Phoenix City at 83. Looking at our temperatures around the southeast in our area, we're in the lower 80-degree temperatures right now. A little warm in our area, and as we head throughout the rest of the southeast, those temperatures remain constant except for here in the Carolinas. They decrease significantly into the upper 70s, but nothing too much there. Overall, the current conditions around the United States here on the West Coast, they're in the upper 60s right now, but as we head back throughout our area, they get a little bit warmer back into the mid-80s. Looking at our current surface map, here in the Midwest, we see a few high and low pressure systems bringing in those heavy rain systems right here, as well as a few precipitation conditions heading back towards our area, as we saw that rain earlier this week. But as we take a closer look into our area, we see that that rain pushes back down to the Gulf, as well as in certain parts of Florida. So we should be expecting too much as we head on into the week, into the rest of the week. Our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours in our area, it doesn't look like we'll be expecting too much rain here, except for the southernmost part of the state, as well as certain parts of Florida and other southeastern states. As we move into Thursday, still no rain in our area, but we do see a significant amount of rain here in the Carolinas, as well as certain parts of Virginia. As we move into Friday, still no rain in our area, but as we move back towards Texas, we see that they will have a little bit of rain here in their area, possibly hitting us over the weekend. As we head into Saturday, we see that rain gets a little bit heavier right here coming in through Louisiana, but it doesn't touch us just yet. And as we end our weekend on Sunday, we still have a very beautiful Sunday, but we do have a few heavy rain systems coming here through the Middle East towards our area. For tonight's forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain, light winds coming in from the east-northeast at about 6 miles per hour with a low of 65. So tonight will be much like last night. It'll be kind of cool outside, so if you're definitely out and about tonight, you can grab a light jacket and enjoy your evening without getting too cool. For tomorrow's forecast, it'll be very sunny. We have a very high UV index, light winds coming in from the east-northeast at about 3 miles per hour with a high of 90 degrees. So tomorrow will be a little bit like today. It'll be warm outside, except tomorrow will be a little bit warmer than it was today, so you can definitely go outside and enjoy your day. And if you just want to stay on the quad and eat lunch tomorrow or just enjoy homework with friends, you can definitely do that. Take a look at our 4-day forecast. For tomorrow, we have a high of 90 degrees with a low of 66. Heading into Friday, that high remains at 90 degrees with a low of 67. Saturday, it gets a little bit warmer, right at 89. It should be about a 20% chance of rain, but we shouldn't see too much rain in our area come Saturday with that low of 68. And Sunday, we have a high of 88. So, Brittany, yes, we did have those cooler temperatures today and yesterday, but it doesn't look like those fall temperatures will be here to stay. Actually, it looks like they're getting back into the 90s, so we may still see a little bit of those summer temperatures, and it'll be very warm as we head throughout the weekend, so you can definitely go out and enjoy your weekend if you want to.
Well, that is nice to hear that the weather will warm back up. I guess I'll take your advice about having a picnic on the quad.
Great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.